Hi, I'm Pamela Carroll, and welcome back to Make Naples Healthy Again. Today we're talking about something that affects nearly every resident here in Southwest Florida, mosquito spraying. While it's great for reducing mosquito-borne diseases, what are the potential risks of chemicals used to control these pesky insects? Let's dive in. Mosquito spraying is a common method used by local governments to control mosquito populations and prevent the spread of diseases like Zika, West Nile, and dengue fever. Today, we're zooming in on Collier County, Florida, and a hot topic, the aerial pesticide spraying by the Collier Mosquito Control District, or CMCD. It's meant to zap mosquitoes, but is it zapping our health and environment too? Let's break it down. While the CMCD primarily uses dibrom or Naled, Duet HD, and Mirus 3.0 for adult mosquito control, Remora Tri represents an emerging tool. It's not explicitly listed as a standard chemical in CMCD's current public materials or their website's control materials section, but its evaluation in field trials suggests it could be adopted or rotated into their mosquito management or IMM program, especially as resistance to existing chemicals grows. These chemicals are designed to kill adult mosquitoes, but what about the impact they have on the environment, our health, and our communities? While the goal is to reduce mosquito populations, the aerial spraying can also have unintended consequences. These chemicals can affect local wildlife, pollute water sources, and pose health risks to humans. So what's the risk to our health? Well, some of the chemicals used, like a pesticide called Naled, trade name dibrom, is sprayed from planes over neighborhoods to control mosquito populations. They've been at it for decades, targeting pests like the Aedes aegypti, which can carry Zika and dengue. But there's a catch. Naled is an organophosphate, a chemical class known to mess with the nervous system and our microbiomes. While the district uses a low dose, half an ounce per acre, studies raise red flags. Research like the EPA's 2020 draft assessment warns that Naled can linger on surfaces post-spray, posing risks to kids who touch treated areas within hours. It's also toxic to bees and pollinators. Think of the monarch butterflies wiped out in North Dakota after similar spraying. And for humans, inhalation or skin exposure might trigger respiratory issues or worse with repeated hits, especially for vulnerable folks like pregnant women or kids. Collier residents have complained about a lack of clear warnings. Some say they've been caught outside mid-spray, windows open, unaware of the risks. The district claims it's safe, citing EPA approval, and sprays at dusk or dawn when mosquitoes are active. But critics argue the long-term effects are murky. Organophosphates can disrupt more than mosquito brains, potentially affecting neurodevelopment or mitochondrial function in humans too. What is a synergistic detrimental effect of all the chemicals used? Plus, runoff into waterways could harm fish and wildlife. Dibrom has been linked to respiratory issues, skin irritation, and even neurological problems. Prolonged exposure to these chemicals may affect hormone levels and cause developmental issues, particularly in children. If you live in areas where mosquito spraying is frequent, you may be unknowingly exposing yourself and your family to these harmful substances. It's particularly concerning for people with asthma, allergies, and sensitive skin. AMVAC Chemical Corporation, American Vanguard Corporation, under American Vanguard, produces dibrom, or Naled, and has a history of acquiring older, controversial pesticides. This track record invites closer scrutiny for potential conflicts. AMVAC is known for buying rights to chemicals abandoned by larger firms due to health or regulatory concerns. Examples are Mevinfos, banned in 1994, DBCP, linked to sterility lawsuits. A 2007 Los Angeles Times investigation highlighted AMVAC's strategy of exploiting regulatory gaps, noting that after the EPA suspended DBCP in 1977, AMVAC ramped up production for export, securing EPA permission for limited use in Hawaii. This suggests a cozy relationship with regulators, though not illegal at the time. Deborah Edwards, EPA Pesticide Program Director from 2007 to 2010, joined the American Vanguard's board post-tenure. A 2021 Intercept investigation found that since 1974, most EPA pesticide office directors transitioned to industry roles, including Edwards. While not proof of quid pro quo during dibrom's approval, registered since 1959, long before her tenure, it raises questions about systemic influence. Edwards' expertise likely benefited AMVAC's navigation of EPA rules, but no specific evidence ties her to Dye-Brahm's approval process. But the risks don't just stop at humans. These chemicals can have a devastating effect on local wildlife. Bees, butterflies, and other pollinators are essential for the ecosystem, yet they're highly sensitive to the same chemicals used for mosquito control. Spraying chemicals like pyrethroid can wipe out important species that help pollinate our plants and maintain the local environment. Mosquitoes develop resistance to these chemicals, and we cannot rule out conclusions of some studies that show aerial spraying could potentially be increasing populations higher than if no control measures were taken. Adaptation to agricultural pesticides may allow mosquitoes to avoid predators and colonize novel ecosystems. Published in the journal Ecologia in 2019. This research was conducted by Ed Hamill and colleagues from Utah State University, with fieldwork performed in northern Costa Rica. In this study, the team investigated why mosquito populations seemed higher in orange plantations compared to pristine forest areas. They specifically examined bromeliads, plants that hold water and serve as breeding sites for mosquito larvae, within both pesticide-treated orange groves and untreated forests. The orange groves had been treated with organophosphate insecticide for over 20 years to control plant lice. The findings showed that mosquito counts were significantly higher in the sprayed orange groves, 50% more mosquitoes than in pristine areas, due to two key factors. Number one, pesticide resistance. Mosquitoes in the treated groves had evolved resistance, tolerating up to 10 times higher exposure levels than their counterparts in pristine forests. Number two, predator loss. The pesticide eliminated mosquito predators like damselflies, which were absent in the treated groves but present in the pristine areas. Without predators, resistant mosquitoes thrived and colonized larger bromeliads. This created a trophic cascade, where the loss of predators allowed mosquito populations to explode in the treated areas, outweighing any direct mosquito-killing effect of the pesticide. The study's title reflects its focus on how pesticide adaptation enabled mosquitoes to exploit these altered ecosystems, leading to higher counts compared to the pristine forest baseline. Thankfully, there are safer and more natural alternatives to mosquito spraying. Here are a few. Biological control, introducing natural mosquito predators like mosquito fish, which consume larvae in standing water. Natural repellents, using essential oils like citronella, lavender, or eucalyptus to repel mosquitoes without chemicals. Physical barriers, installing mosquito nets or using mosquito traps in areas where people gather outside. BTI, this natural bacterium is safe for people and pets but effectively kills mosquito larvae in standing water. Using these natural methods can help reduce the reliance on chemical mosquito control and maintain a healthier ecosystem. Mosquito control is important, but it doesn't have to come at the expense of our health or the environment. By choosing natural alternatives and staying informed, we can protect our homes and the beautiful nature around us here in Southwest Florida. So what's the alternative? Why not lean harder into prevention? CMCD already uses larvicides, less toxic options like BTI, or habitat control. Draining standing water where mosquitoes breed, enhance populations of mosquito predators like dragonflies and mosquito fish. These methods cut the need for blanket spraying and spare our ecosystems the collateral damage. Collier's mosquito fight is a balancing act. Public health versus potential harm. But with safer options on the table, maybe it's time to rethink the spray-first approach. What do you think? Drop us a line at Make Naples Healthy Again. Until next time, stay curious and stay green.